Mandalorian Season 3 set up a story that had the potential to include many known characters, yet subverted expectations by keeping some out. The story of The Mandalorian Season 3 was perfectly poised to include many characters from Star Wars past, though it somewhat subverted expectations by leaving potential cameos out altogether, with the core plot of the season centering on both Din Djarin and the Mandalorians' return to their home planet. The potential was there for many character appearances. After all, Mandalorian culture has been heavily featured in Dave Filoni's previous Star Wars works, with his producer and writing credits on The Mandalorian Season 3 potentially hinting at some characters appearing. While the cast and characters of The Mandalorian Season 3 were certainly impressive, many theories surrounded the introduction of others from Star Wars TV history. This was only bolstered by the announcement of Filoni's film coming in the near future, which is set to culminate the overarching story of The Mandalorian and its respective spin-offs. However, despite all of these elements leading many to expect different characters to appear, The Mandalorian Season 3 remained fairly self-contained in its story and the characters it utilized. 7. Boba Fett. Boba Fett and Armor Chain Code in Mandalorian. The character that was arguably the most heavily theorized for an appearance in The Mandalorian Season 3 was Boba Fett. Despite an Easter egg to Boba in The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, the character did not appear at all throughout the season. Due to the friendship formed between Boba and Din Djarin across both The Mandalorian Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett, many assumed that Temuera Morrison's Daimyo would be the first person Pedro Pascal's Din would reach out to if he was in need. However, Boba was nowhere to be seen in The Mandalorian Season 3. The events of The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5 only added more credence to the Boba Fett theories, with Cady Sackhoff's Bo-Katan Kryze being tasked with reuniting all Mandalorians across the galaxy to reclaim Mandalore. Many wrongly assumed that Boba would be part of this war party, given his Mandalorian history and friendship with Djarin. Further hints that Boba would appear from Din Djarin's body double Brendan Wayne on the Star Wars Sessions podcast, which, unfortunately, proved unfounded. 6. Fennec Shand. Fennec Shand in The Mandalorian. Where theories of Boba Fett are found, similar hopes that his most trusted ally, Fennec Shand, are not far behind. Since Boba's appearance in The Mandalorian Season 2, Ming-Na Wen's Fennec has been his right-hand woman, serving as both Boba's chief advisor and muscle due to her assassin capabilities. With many hoping Boba would appear in The Mandalorian Season 3, the expectation that Fennec would be by his side was overwhelming. Unfortunately, neither character played a role in the season, meaning viewers will have to wait until The Bad Batch Season 3 to see more of Fennec Shand's Star Wars story. 5. Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars. Another character that missed out on an appearance in The Mandalorian Season 3 was Ahsoka Tano. Since appearing in The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5 for the first time in live action, Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka has appeared in the Book of Boba Fett before her own TV show hits Disney Plus in August 2023. Similar to Boba Fett, Ahsoka has struck a certain rapport with Din Djarin and has a close history with Bo-Katan, leading many to think she would play a role of some size in The Mandalorian Season 3. The Mandalorian Season 3 finale sets up Din Djarin's connection to Ahsoka and Thrawn. The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7 only increased these hopes with the mention of Grand Admiral Thrawn from Captain Pellaeon. As is known from Ahsoka's The Mandalorian appearance and the trailer for Ahsoka, the former Jedi is searching at length for Thrawn across the galaxy. After Thrawn's mention in Chapter 23, The Spies, the expectation was that she would appear in The Mandalorian Season 3 finale after potentially hearing rumors of the Shadow Council. Alas, this was not the case, with Ahsoka's next Star Wars appearance coming in her own series later in 2023. 4. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thrawn in the Ahsoka trailer and Imperial Shadow Council from The Mandalorian. Another character theorized to appear in The Mandalorian Season 3 after Chapter 23, The Spies, was Thrawn himself. With Thrawn confirmed as the main villain of both Ahsoka and Filoni's feature film, it was theorized that The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 8 would begin laying the groundwork for this through the first live-action appearance of the character. This was especially bolstered by the name drop of Thrawn in The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7, with many thinking Thrawn would appear as part of the Shadow Council. However, Season 3's second finale was mostly self-contained, meaning Thrawn missed out on an appearance in The Mandalorian. 3. The Mythosaur. Bo-Katan and the Mythosaur in The Mandalorian Season 3. The Mythosaur is an interesting case in terms of missing out on a Mandalorian Season 3 appearance, as it technically was shown twice. That being said, after the ending of The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, many assumed the Mythosaur would feature much more heavily in the season's overarching story. However, outside of 2 very brief sightings of the character floating beneath the living waters of Mandalore, the Mythosaur had little to no impact on The Mandalorian Season 3 after the commonly held belief that it would be vital to Bo-Katan's story. 2. Sabine Wren. Sabine Wren animated and live action side by side. Spawning from the ending of The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5, Sabine Wren was another character heavily expected to appear in The Mandalorian Season 3's final 3 episodes. As Bo-Katan was set on reuniting the Mandalorians to reclaim their home planet, the assumption was that she would contact her previous Mandalorian allies. One of these was Sabine Wren, as seen in Star Wars Rebels. Not only would it have made sense for Sabine to have been contacted by Bo-Katan, but it would have further set up the former's appearance in Ahsoka a few months after The Mandalorian Season 3 finale's air date. Regardless, Sabine is another character who somehow was not featured in Season 3's story. This means that, like the titular character of the upcoming show, Sabine's Star Wars story will continue in Ahsoka, streaming in August. 1. Fenn Rau. Fenn Rau in Rebels and Din Djarin in the Book of Boba Fett. Like Sabine, another former Mandalorian ally of Bo-Katan is Fenn Rau. Fenn Rau was also a character seen in Star Wars Rebels, whose last appearance in that series, and Star Wars as a whole, saw him pledge allegiance to Bo-Katan after she received the Darksaber for the first time. Again, given the task of Bo-Katan uniting the Mandalorians, it would have made sense for Rau to have been contacted by Kryze as a means of procuring more allies who have previously followed her. The appearance of Fenn Rau in The Mandalorian Season 3 held more weight when rumors began circulating that the character would make the transition to live action. That being said, Rau was yet another character missing from The Mandalorian Season 3. While Fenn Rau's live-action debut could come in The Mandalorian Season 4, it is unlikely due to the series seemingly switching its focus back to Din Djarin and Grogu, rather than Mandalore as a whole. Please show your support by hitting the thumb up button, subscribing to our channel, and turning on the notifications bell so that you can keep to date with our content releases. Also, leave your question and thoughts below. So thanks for watching.